Okay. Um, so thanks everyone for joining. Greatly appreciate it. My name is Leah Baumhofer. I am the Chief of Traffic Engineering for DOT and also Police Streets Manager. Thanks for coming to our advisory committee. We'll kick things off. Soon as presentation collaborates. Okay, so quick agenda here. We're just going to go through introductions and then do some project spotlights on some exciting projects we have going on right now. Some signal technology initiatives I'm going to speak to. We have Shayna Rose on our DOT planning team to speak to her Vision Zero and Torrent Zero efforts, which are really exciting. And then we'll just go through some quick build spotlights, just showing some of the quick build treatments we're doing around the city to improve safety. Okay, so just going through our commissioners here, we have Sean Ames from the fire department, Jason Wright, DHCD, Austin Davis for Department of Planning, myself from Transportation, and then we are in need currently of a new Public Works Commissioner. So we will be working with DPW to get someone in place for the next quarterly meeting. So thank you all very much for your continued attendance and participation. I greatly appreciate it. This leads us into our project spotlights. So I'm going to just talk through some of our exciting signal technology upgrades we've been doing around the city over the past year or two, both city initiatives and partnerships with some other great folks. So this is a map on our signal communication technology upgrade initiative. Through our wide retiming project, we have installed 150 connected signals in the CBD downtown area that you can see in green. And this means that we have remote access to these signals. So we can do live monitoring on their functionality. You can actually see what phases they're showing, and we can push signal timing changes from our central server here. And then we have the existing through a partnership with MTA. These are the starred routes are some key transit routes that it was a priority for MTA to have these signals connected. And this also allows for some transportation signal priority, which I'll get into a little bit later. And then we've also been doing just some basic housekeeping. The purple dots here are 500 recently installed GPS units at different signals, and that just does the basic job of keeping our time clocks in sync at those signals so that the timings installed can function as designed and as intended. With our signal retiming project, we've also been implementing some pedestrian safety initiatives, which is one of the key things I wanted to highlight for this group. So we have over 260 leading pedestrian intervals implemented over the past 2 years. And that's what this picture on the right is depicting. This is when a pedestrian gets a few seconds of a walk sign before turning vehicles are released with their own green signal. So the pedestrian can establish themselves in the intersection, and it just encourages vehicles that are turning to yield to pedestrians, as they're required to do. We have also been increasing pedestrian clearance intervals, which is the flashing don't walk sign, so that we can accommodate our slower pedestrians, older or younger folks out there particularly, so that they can all get across the street safely as well. We have been putting more pedestrian signals on recall such that pedestrians don't have to push the button in order to call a walk sign. This is an initiative particularly in our downtown areas, which have the most pedestrians, frequently would have a pedestrian crossing at almost every light. And we have our initiative on reducing cycle lengths to reduce ped delay. So anytime you get to a light, hopefully you're waiting a little bit shorter of a time if you're at a red light. And then this has also been coupled with just ongoing pedestrian signal inspection and repair, which we acknowledge is a big job citywide. And I've just been bumping that up with our maintenance folks to prioritize, and we acknowledge there is quite a queue, but this is just an ongoing effort that we have to bring more attention to these concerns. And I want to speak about an exciting partnership we have with Morgan State University to deploy some connected vehicle and just more advanced technologies as a pilot. And this was done in concert with Morgan from a grant that they won. And so we deployed LiDAR technology along Hillen at currently 3 intersections, which sort of gets a radar scan of the full intersection and can detect and identify conflicts and near miss events. And then behind the scenes, Morgan does a lot of data analysis and works on this to improve ped and vehicle safety. This allows Morgan to sort of point out how many at these intersections, if a near miss event, which Shana may talk about in the Vision Zero portion as well. But these are when there's different thresholds. I believe Morgan's using like an under 1 second approximately near miss, so that we can identify potential crashes as opposed to waiting for historical crash data. We have roadside units that Morgan has installed that can communicate with vehicles that have connected vehicle technology on board, that can warn that there is bikes or peds in the area, give that kind of messaging, and just along with this effort, installing advanced signal controllers to collect signal and phasing data and have that live time communication at these signals. Here's just an example of the deployment of these units right at the signals here. We have Argonne and Hillen as one of the examples. So we're really pleased that this is an ongoing partnership. It's aligned with our strategic plan in our signal system upgrade and promotes applied research and implementation of safety applications. This is one of, on the right, an intersection that we were very pleased that Morgan agreed to include, Hillen at 33rd, since it is very complex. And there have been a lot of changes as we've been trying to improve the safety of this intersection lately and improve ped and bike access into the lake. The students at Morgan actually used this as a study at an intersection for one of their capstone projects. So just a really great opportunity for partnership and benefits on both sides there. And with that, on the topic of safety, I will be turning it over to Shayna.
Oops. Good afternoon, everybody. So I'm Shayna. I am the planner focused on Towards Zero, which is our initiative in which we are seeking to eliminate traffic fatalities and serious injuries throughout the city. So we have a small annual budget that focuses on quick build infrastructure improvements. And in this current round, we are focusing our improvements in East and West Baltimore in 8 neighborhoods. So in the east, we're looking at doing work in Madison East End, Milton Montford, Elwood Park, and McCreary Park. And in the west, we're doing improvements in Boyd Booth, Union Square, Mount Clair, and Carrollton Ridge. These are all neighborhoods that are adjacent to each other, so that way we can implement systemic safety improvements for these neighborhoods. Next slide, please. So as part of this project process, we are working with the communities. We have been working with the communities to identify the locations that we're going to be focusing our quick build efforts. And recently we have completed that analysis in collaboration with the neighborhoods. And so we are going to be doing quick build improvements in East Baltimore on Fayette Street from Kenwood to Luzerne, Jefferson Street from Highland to Patterson Park, Madison Street continuing a existing streetscape construction project that currently ends at Milton Street. We're going to be continuing that project through to Washington Street. And then also we're going to be looking at the Fayette Street, Pulaski Highway, and Lakewood Avenue intersection. On the west side, we have decided to focus our efforts on Pratt Street from Frederick Avenue to MLK Boulevard, and then Monroe Street from Eagle Street to Baltimore Street. We worked with the community to identify an additional intersection at the Ramsey Street, Mount Street, and Wilkins Avenue roundabout. The Frederick Avenue and Pulaski Street intersection, the Baltimore Street and intersections along Baltimore Street, and then the Ramsey, Ashton, and Payson intersection. So these are the locations that are going to be receiving quick build treatments, but then also we're going to be doing speed hump installations throughout both project areas. So our work is not limited to just these corridor improvements. So this is all on our website if you want more information about the concepts and the locations and how we got to them. We have a whole methodology. And then for the next phase of the project, we are going to be identifying neighborhood transportation priorities and then matching those priorities to concept designs. We're going to be doing outreach at events next month and the month after. And then hopefully we'll have selected concept designs maybe by the end of the summer. And so we have a new survey out for transportation priorities for these areas. And so if you live in or work in or frequent at all these 4 neighborhoods, we would love to hear from you and your transportation priorities. You can take that survey through the QR code listed on this slide or by going to our project website. Next slide. And then the other big plan that I'm working on is the Vision Zero Action Plan. So you may be wondering, what is the difference between Towards Zero and Vision Zero? Well, Towards Zero is our current initiative to eliminate traffic fatalities. We're transitioning that program to become a more mainstream Vision Zero program, which will identify the year that we are aiming to eliminate traffic fatalities by. So right now, we just in general want to eliminate fatalities. A Vision Zero program will identify a year and the strategies we need to take to get to that goal date. As part of the Vision Zero Action Plan development, we are running a near miss, a grassroots near miss survey. And I wanted to, some of you may know about this already, so I wanted to share some initial results with you. So as of last week, we have received almost 1,400 responses to our near miss survey. So that's really good. We're very happy that 1,400 people have responded. And we are hearing that a lot of people in Baltimore have experienced near misses. A plurality have experienced near misses more than once a week. And then the second most was often, a few times a month. If you haven't already taken the survey, by the way, the QR code will be on all the forthcoming slides, so please scan that and take it. Next slide, please. So from the near miss survey, we are seeing that most of the interactions were with cars, pretty much all of them. So mostly between cars and pedestrians. People are also logging instances of when they're riding bikes and near misses that happen there, but also issues with freight trucks and buses, and then there's this other category which we think are mostly dirt bikes. A lot of people are showing that these near misses are happening to people who are older or younger, so people over 65 or people under 18, though also a fair amount don't know the ages involved. Next, please. Now, the majority of people are saying that near misses are happening with speeding drivers or distracted drivers, but then also a fair amount are saying they're happening when drivers are turning without looking or when they're running a red light. And then some other behaviors as well, but not nearly as many as those top three. Next slide, please. And this is a really interesting one. A lot of people are saying that the locations where they're logging their near misses, that safety concerns at those locations prevent them from using certain kinds of transportation modes. So maybe they are a little afraid of walking or biking or riding a scooter at those spots. A lot of people are saying they're really worried about walking in those locations where they're logging near misses or have witnessed near misses. So, we as an agency want to empower people to choose the transportation modes that make the most sense for their commutes, and we don't want people to be pigeonholed into one specific mode. So this is really important information for us to get. So please encourage your neighbors, your friends, your family to take this near miss survey. We're getting a lot of great data, but we could really use more near misses logged in East and West Baltimore. We will keep the near miss survey open probably through the summer. And then we'll have more engagement that will happen during the fall. And that's all for me. I'm happy to take any questions if anyone has any. And then just one final note, all of this will be contributing towards an ultimate Vision Zero action plan, which will outline the projects and priorities that are needed in order to meet that eventual goal of eliminating traffic fatalities and serious injuries by 2036.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Shana. And yeah, it's a great plug. Keep sending out the survey. Keep taking. If anyone has an experience here, please do take the survey and spread the word. And thanks for all your great work, Shana. Okay. So, and just our final few project spotlights here, just going through some of our recent quick build installations, and that you will be seeing more of over the summer. But one recent one was the new updates for school access at the Helen and 33rd intersection, allowing parents to enter into the lake area just for that first block to access the school drop off and parking lot in the back. Whereas the main lake loop remains ped bike only, and just some signage and crosswalk upgrades here. Then this is an interesting project, a quick build on Glenmore Ave for traffic calming. This is a more innovative, shall I say, traffic calming treatment. It's one of the newer treatments in our toolbox. I'm getting a note that someone isn't able to hear. Could others confirm?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Okay, but for this item, this is a corridor where you know, traditionally our toolbox, we lean very heavily on speed humps, but we are looking
Yeah, I
to
can't hear you.
diversify. I think, Hassan, it might be an issue on your end. Oh, maybe I need to put it into the chat. Um, okay, so I'm just gonna keep going. Thanks. Yeah, we're looking to diversify our toolbox here, and so this is a chicane installation where rather than having a long straightaway that encourages folks to, or may, you know, allows some speeding. With a chicane, traffic has to shift periodically, and these shifts encourage lower speeds. Folks have to slow down a little bit to make that shift accurately. And in this instance, the parking lane shifts from side to side to reinforce that movement. As I said, this is sort of a newer installation for the city, so we are doing some follow-up speed studies in this area to see how well it's working, and just observations on the driver behavior, since, of course, any new type of traffic treatment, there is a little bit of a learning curve for folks using it, but you can see this is a promising instance where we have roads that speed humps are not eligible for speed humps due to grade or sight distance concerns, or where fire department access means that the 15-mile-an-hour may be a little bit too low, and that for bus routes where the vertical deflection isn't possible to put in. So we're happy to be expanding the toolbox here for traffic calming treatments. And then I believe here we have a quick build treatment at Forest Park and Granada Ave, sort of a similar, you have a straightaway feel, and this intersection is a little bit unusual coming at an angle. Folks were parking and blocking the sight distance in this area. So just cleaning up some of the sight lines and
Yeah, come on in, my
restriping
friend.
parking lanes here. And then finally, we've got just some bread and butter. Just put in got a spring crosswalk initiative, just putting out some more of our high vis crosswalks and brand new stop bars out there around the city. Okay, and that brings us to the end of the project spotlights, but I'm happy to take questions on that or opening up to feedback generally and questions for myself or Shayna. And so with that, we'll open it up. I guess while folks are perhaps gathering their thoughts, just wanted to take this time to thank also our partners. I see there's some EMC folks, some sustainability office folks. So thank you. Appreciate your attendance. And the members of the public here as well. Appreciate it. I think I'm really excited about some of the, safety initiatives that the planning team has going and that track is putting out just with our continued quick build design. So keep plugging those near miss surveys. Thank you, Shayna. And yeah, I really appreciate it, everyone. Okay, and I'm going to say we're just going to give it a few more minutes here to allow I'll just say 2 more minutes, see if any questions or comments do come in. And then we can wrap up for today. And I guess just before we do adjourn, I'll just say to the other commissioners, feel free if there are like agenda items or questions you all have in advance or topics you want to bring for discussion. As always, feel free to do that. We'll be we'll be reaching out a little more regularly to see if there are additional agenda items. But then on our end, we'll just continue to be highlighting sort of the late streams of work that we have ongoing. And with that, I believe there are no takers. I think we are good to go ahead and adjourn for today. And just a reminder, this will be posted and the minutes will be circulated as well, just for the commissioners for review and approval or concurrence before they are posted on our website as well. And we will be having, again, the next quarterly meeting approximately 3 months.